What we know about governments is that they will use force in order to favor particular agendas, sometimes nice-sounding agendas like creating jobs and keeping the public safe. These nice-sounding justifications for keeping open-source cars regulated out of the marketplace do not work in rational law. Rational law, also called verarchy, requires that there will be no blanket laws squashing out opportunity for projects to prove their own merits in safety and reliability. As we know, governments practice lobbyism, but in rational law, lobbyism is entirely forbidden. In such an atmosphere of open meritocracy, open source cars are going to be allowed to prove themselves and become commonplace on the free and open market. As you may already know, open source projects have universalizable parts, meaning that they will work with all kinds of different models instead of each model having its own unique incompatibility of parts like we have now. With uniform parts that are vastly interchangeable and compatible with lots of different designs, the world is going to see competition in quality more than competition in some gatekeeping brand ecosystem. Closed ecosystems make it so that you're forced to be loyal to those brands and increasingly forced to turn to them for repairs on something you, the owner, should be able to repair yourself. Ownership requires right to repair, but the governments of the world cater to businesses and corporations, like in the practice of lobbying. Instead of doing what is logical and correct, they do what is lining their own pockets and the pockets of politically connected people. The whole point of decentralized law is to get the world liberated from the control of elites and wealthy who design away the freedom of individuals. Individuals must be free and highly capable to make their own decisions and do what is best for their own lives. Because rational law must stay focused on individual empowerment. Since it is the individual that is sovereign and no other group or concept, all of the laws will favor individual empowerment universally, never letting big organizations dominate. Open source cars will have a series of generic platforms, categories such as minivan, full-size van, small truck, medium truck, and so forth, much the same as we have now. Only that the customization and repairability will be unprecedented, and vehicle owners will truly have the right to repair and customize, still maintaining the safety standards through inspections and tests as applicable to the situation. Instead of requiring large car manufacturing companies, even a small operation from a small garage can be manufacturing cars one at a time, pausing where they need to in order to complete inspections for quality and safety verification, then moving on to complete more of the process. This takes the whole concept of big car manufacturers down quite a few notches so that we are not dependent on these big companies to provide a good quality and keep the car reparable. As components become much more generic and interchangeable, money stops coming from strictly who can make their parts so unique that nobody else can duplicate them. As it already is, some companies pride themselves on making parts that digitally lock out any alternatives. This kind of behavior is a violation of ownership rights, as one who has true ownership of a product has to be able to purchase the replacement parts from any party they wish. The open source car industry is one that governments have silenced for a long time. Open source car projects already exist and have existed for a long time, especially since the dawn of the internet, but the governments have been quite unfriendly to these efforts with their policies. Rational law will make sure that companies trying to control repairability and customizability of something people own will not be allowed. If you buy it, you must be able to truly own it, meaning that you control it and other people do not. Through this model, we can predict that manufacturing of these interchangeable parts will be competitive and innovative to achieve high quality and longevity more than we typically see of most options available today. Brand name of these parts will be of significant importance and key metrics of quality. As you can probably guess, this would also apply to companies of all other kinds, no longer being allowed to use software and chips to prevent intercompatibility of parts provided by third parties. The printer companies will no longer be allowed to manufacture printers that only accept their own consumables. This is the kind of ownership that a system of law acknowledging your sovereignty must enforce. It is because you are sovereign that you are required to be the true owner of your life and everything that you buy. People are not allowed to design a system which keeps you subjugated to their schemes. Open source projects of all kinds will flourish in the car industry, as well as countless other industries, and companies will have to adjust.